Well, this is going to be great.
Welcome to the White House Pod with David A.R. White.
I'm gonna finish what I started.
It's not easy, but it's simple. Granger, how are you? Where are you coming from?
Central Texas. I live just north of Austin.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Is this your recording studio that you're in?
This is where I do my radio show.
Oh, look at that. How is that a daily show?
It is 7. It's actually a nightly show, you could say. 7 nights a week. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. For how long?
The show is hold your breath for a second. 6 hours, but it's a music show, so my talking doesn't equate to 6 hours. I do all the in-between stuff and bring up different topics.
And it's daily.
Daily, yeah.
Wow. How long have you been doing this?
I'm on the 4th year. But it's been great. It's been such a cool job because I could take it with me wherever I go. I've done it in many countries around the world. I've done it in all kinds of hotel rooms and closets, and it's something I could take with me. So in that aspect, it's great.
Do you ever take a day off? What about Christmas?
I don't. We will. My producer and I, we will get into pre-recording.
Okay.
And so we can get into kind of a rhythm where we could have 7 or 8 days where we actually don't record, but that requires a lot of prep on the front end, knocking that out. But yeah, I can't complain. It's I mean,
it's a nationally syndicated show, right? This is yeah. After midnight with Granger Smith.
That's right.
And do we? Is this because you don't sleep and you started at midnight and then it goes from like 12 to 6 a.m.?
The funny thing is, I have rarely heard the show live. I occasionally I hear it when I'm going to the airport super early, 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh, let me hear the show for a little bit. But out of almost 4 years of doing it, I rarely hear it live because I try to go to bed pretty early.
Okay, so when do we do this show? Sorry, what time?
I usually do it in the mornings. I usually record it and have it turned in. I need to have it turned in by like 4 p.m. at the latest. And it comes on at midnight across the country. So 10 p.m. Central Time, I need to have that thing rocking. And so it goes off and it goes through all the producers touch it and everything. But it is daily, and I try to do it in the mornings.
Oh my gosh! And okay? My brain can't even wrap my head around how much work that is. And I mean, are you okay? So, I know you from the music that you did with the country. What's it called? That when you're you in your truck.
You talking about Earl Dibbles Jr.?
Yeah. Yes.
That's one of the That is a way. That is one way that people know me, and that's been an adventure too. I haven't done Earl in a while, even though he does have a little bit of a segment on the radio show. It's called Earl Dibbles Jr. and Dumb Criminals. Earl Dibbles and Dumb Criminals. So it's like telling stories of, idiotic criminals, daily.
You did. Okay, so, and you also did one of our movies too, didn't you?
I did. It's called Moonrise.
Moonrise, that's right. We didn't make the movie. We distributed the movie. I'm not sure who made it. But that was a few years back. It was. Yeah.
And I was recording the radio show. As soon as I would get off the set, I would come back to my little Airbnb and record that radio show.
It did good. Yeah. It did really good. Did you?
Thanks, man.
Have you done a lot of movies over the years?
That is the only one.
Are you serious?
That is it.
Who were the producers who had the bright idea to hire you?
Sony did it.
Yeah. But I mean, who do you know? Which do you remember? I'm totally putting you on the spot now. It's like, if you don't remember the producers' names, that's fine. But I'm just curious. It's like, how did they know you? Is my point. Like, were they like, where did they see you from?
I mean, that is a great question. I mean, I'm assuming the character in the movie was a country singer,
right?
So they were pulling from that.
And you're a country
resource,
singer.
They went to my agency. Booking agency, and they said, hey, give us a list of some guys that could act. I think what they thought was, it would be easier because there were some parts in the movie where I had to play on stage. So I think they were thinking, let's get a guy that could play guitar and sing, and then we could try to teach him to act instead of going the opposite way. And somehow I got a hold of the script and actually really liked it. And I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Well, you were great in the movie. Who was the girl again? What was her name?
Sonia.
Oh, boy, I'm just totally
Moonrise.
putting you on the spot on like,
Yeah.
what is that
Yeah.
person's name? And you're like, why is he doing this to me? I wouldn't do this on my radio show. Well, clearly, I'm new at this, and I don't know the questions not to ask.
There is no wrong questions. Trust me.
All right, so where did the Earl thing come?
Yeah, man.
Like-
Earl Dibbles, 2011, we were promoting an album that was coming out, and we had been making these videos to try to promote the record that were just off the cuff, trying to be funny, trying to create something, trying to create some kind of buzz that wasn't the traditional, hey, go buy my record, go listen to my music. And so we were making these different characters that
Were people doing this for music at the time? Because obviously they were doing it for movies a few years ago. I just remember like the we had a movie called Samson 3-4 years ago that came out, and at the time the Avengers were doing these little funny things, so we thought it'd be a good idea to try to do the same thing with so Samson's like doing like goat yoga and like these these sketches. Sounds to me like this is a similar type of an idea, although this was years. When was this? 2011.
2011.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it feels like it was before what we were doing. So, were other musicians doing the same thing?
Yeah, and I don't mean to say this in a way of.
No, you could say it.
I don't mean to brag at all about this, but
You're
but
the
I
first
think
person
we
ever
kinda-
to do it?
We stumbled into it because we had.
What year did you start? When was your first album? When did you cut your first album?
Yeah, my first album was in 1999.
Okay, so
Yeah.
country.
Country. It's always been country.
Okay,
Yeah.
and did you in Texas there as well?
Yeah, that first record was Texas. From that first record, signed a publishing deal, moved to Nashville.
Okay,
Made a
hated
couple
it.
records there
Oh no,
through
not hated.
through a publishing deal, but no record label.
Okay,
But they were kind of like glorified demos, really collections that I made from demos. Made an album. Moved back to Texas, started a band in 2004, and really kind of started an underground movement then.
your band. Did you start
Yeah.
your band there?
Yeah, started a band there, then started making records with that band and traveling around and playing a bunch of empty bars promoting that music.
I don't know much about country music, so forgive me. I'm from Kansas, and
Fine.
you'd think that I should know a whole lot more, given the fact that I'm from Kansas. But did you always have a love for country music? Did you grow up
Yeah.
loving country music? Like, who was your big country music artist that you were like, oh, I'd like to emulate that?
Yeah, it's such a good question, and it's strange for me to think back on that because it's like why did that happen to me? Why does
you look like you
anyone-
could have been a pop star.
I don't know. I think why does anyone like a certain genre? I guess we're presupposed to certain. We don't just start liking things in a vacuum. That's obvious. But I think about it in terms of my kids now. I go, why do you guys like what you like? I don't like what you like. Why do you like what you like?
Yeah.
And the culture plays a big role in your friends, and maybe the place where you live plays a role in that. But for some reason, I mean, I was listening to like Poison, in the
Yeah.
in the early '90s, and I was listening, and like Death Row Records was all of a sudden really popping out in LA. Like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre had a record called The Chronic. So these were the really big, wide gaps.
Very
between
country.
what
Those
I-
were all
what I
country
liked.
albums.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened was one day I heard George Strait. I heard a record by this country singer named George Strait. He's a Texan. In fact, in Texas, we call him the king of country music. And I heard a record, and I just thought, Ooh, I love that. I love that. Like something in me just loved every bit of it. It just spoke to me in a way that all the other things that I liked, I liked Poison, but that didn't speak to me. It didn't grab my heart,
But
So
George Strait did.
I saw, so I wanted to go see him live, and I saw him on my 16th birthday. I saw him in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, and it was a huge, huge show, in the stadium. And I just thought, I remember thinking then, I don't care what I do, as long as I get to be part of this crazy circus. I don't care if I'm the lighting guy or the bus driver or the bass player or the security guy or the camera guy. I want to travel like this. This is what I want to do. And that, I remember that's where it was kind of born in me.
Interesting. What do we think of Randy Travis?
Love Randy Travis. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's that same era. That's the same George.
Yeah,
Strait era.
same era, same like
school,
that,
yeah.
that type of. Randy and Elizabeth Travis were our business partners. They helped start PureFlix with us years ago, and so I had a window to watch Randy do 150 shows, every year, and I'm like, why? It seems so much traveling and everything.
That's on the lighter side. 150's like average.
Really?
I'm sure Randy did 200 plus in his day.
I'm always amazed at that. Obviously, I wish that Randy. I wish Randy the best now, and obviously he went through a whole lot of stuff. All right. So you don't start lighting then. Had you been playing guitar since you were a child? Did you just was it innate? Like where are you on the spectrum of kids? Are you the oldest, youngest, middle?
I am the oldest of three boys.
Are there any other musicians in your family besides you?
No, not at all.
Did you have lessons, or did you just like pick it up and know?
No. What happened was I was 14, and there was a girl that I liked.
Yeah, those guitarists.
There was another guy that she liked.
Oh.
And I overheard her one time say, Granger's okay, but if he played the guitar like Peter,
oh my gosh,
I would love him.
Is this your wife now?
I could still hear that echoing through my brain.
Is that your wife now, by the way?
No.
Oh,
no.
That would be
funny
ironic.
What's funny about that story though, is that that really resonated with me. As a 14-year-old boy, and I went home, and my grandmother had given up on a guitar really, and put it in my closet. It was in there, and I knew it was in there. I pulled it out of the case, and it had these little books in there where it had these dots on the fretboard, and it showed you where to put your fingers. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to learn this, and I pushed through it, and I loved it, and I grew to love it more and more, so passionately that the girl and that all that faded, and I developed this love for the guitar and singing that just kind of engulfed everything, and I no longer thought about trying to get the girl. Yeah.
Did you do lessons though with this?
I didn't.
You never did guitar lessons or voice lessons?
No, I didn't. And the voice, that's interesting because, I learned to play guitar, and I loved that. And I learned to sing in order to accompany the guitar. Really, that was all it was. It wasn't like, I just have this angel voice that just has to come out of me. It was never that. I just thought, I want to play the song, and I also want to sing along with it. So the voice thing, I was not ever really a good singer. It was something I really had to cultivate through years and years. And so although I could hear what I knew would be a good tone or a good pitch, it took a long time. I wasn't just a natural born singer, I should say it that way. Yeah, I just loved to do it.
Right. That's cool. All right, so you start your band, and what year was your band?
2004.
2004.
I moved back from Nashville. Said, hey, let's start a band. I went back to Texas A&M to finish a degree there.
In what?
And in history.
Oh wow!
Actually, history.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
At what point in time, though? So 2004, you guys are doing albums. Have you done when you did 2011, when that rolls around, had you already done 10 albums or something like this, or 5 albums, or like how many? How deep were you in that?
I've only done 11 studio, couple live albums, 2 live albums, 11 studios. So by 2011, I'd probably done 6 or 7.
Are you writing all these too?
Yeah, writing and recording them in the house, whatever house.
What about your band? What about your band? Are they not helping to write it?
Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you're doing a radio show every night. You have a family. Like you're like coming up with great concepts about, hey, let's do something funny while we're doing it, while we're promoting our album. Like, what are they doing? Honestly,
there have been several
conversations about this. Are they still with us? Or have we kicked them out?
There's many songs that those guys have co-written over the years. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Their name's not on the title of the group, so maybe that's why. All right, so
they don't want any part of that. They don't want that responsibility.
All right, so we go. 2011 rolls around. What happens when you release that song? You think, hey, this is going to be a funny music video?
Nor a music video. It was just Earl Dibbles on a porch, rambling about his day and doing these country antics. That's all it was. That's the interesting thing about it. The launched the whole thing was neither music nor music video. It was
just Earl.
It was just Earl. It was just introducing a character. At the very end of the video, it says quickly GrangerSmith.com. And that's all there was. That was the only thing that even linked me.
And is it just Earl by himself talking?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just Earl. He's rambling on a porch.
Did you write this ahead of time, or did it just free flow?
No, we knew, my brothers and I, when I say we, my 2 brothers and I, we had this idea because we had used Earl before, just as a, riding in a van, joking around.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, let's go film that country guy. So I get on the porch and I sit down in a chair and I start the A-roll, really without knowing what I'm going to say. I'm just going to ramble and then I'm going to edit it later. So I sat on the porch, rambled for 30 minutes, knowing I was going to edit it down to 3 minutes. And then I went out and filmed the B-roll of acting out what I rambled in the A-roll. Went back to the house and edited it together in a ridiculous way, and didn't think much of it. I thought it was funny. We thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then it's just started getting all these views. And remember that first day it had 25,000 views, which at the time, within a few hours on YouTube, that is something we had not seen.
Wow.
And then within about a week, it had 1 million. That was our goal, was to get our first 1 million view video. And it had it in about a week. And we thought, do we have something here? This is interesting. This is viral.
How many of them have you done? How many videos have you done like that?
So since then, so what happened was when that went viral, people started coming to my shows, and the tipping point was this one show. A guy comes up to me after and he goes, "Man, you're a funny guy," and I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he said, "But I don't get that in your show at all."
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, he's right." And I knew now there's a disconnect. We had promoted my music in my album with this Earl Dibbles guy, but then we just left him behind. You
didn't bring him to the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I knew instantly, Earl needs a song. Like, Earl's got to have a song. That's the only way he's going to be part of the show. He needs a song. So then I wrote the Country Boy song, which was basically the same silly A-roll and B-roll antics, but put to music. Really, that's all it was. Ridiculous. There's nothing creative about it. It was just ridiculous.
It's fun. It's super creative. I was blown away when I saw it. I don't even know how. Like I mean, like it's okay. So out of that, how many millions of views is on that? It's huge.
So yeah, collective. There's many millions collective, because then there was, then instantly that went more viral than the original video. And he instantly joined the show, being the last song of the night. I would run and change clothes, come back out in the overalls, finish the night. and our shows just exploded and grew. And the album, then the Granger music started growing. You know, all tides were raising the ships here in the harbor, and everything grew. And then I needed the next album. I needed another Earl song, and another Earl song, and another Earl song, and then all those needed music videos, and we just had more and more fun. And it created a really unique concert for us, because we could have like a pretty serious love song or something, and then the next song is just tongue in cheek, and it's rock and roll.
All right, I hate the fact that this is going to be too short. We have you got to come back, because we haven't even touched on so many different things and all the stuff that you guys have been going through in your books and everything like that. So here's my question: this show is called Dare to Dream, right? You do so much. How do you motivate yourself to do it? Is it because you already have adulation from your live audiences, your millions of views, now your book, now your series, your YouTube series that you have going on right now with your family? What motivates you to get up in the morning and to still keep doing it every day?
I think the easiest way to answer that is I try not to do anything that I don't love. And if I stop loving something, I'll just slowly step away from it. Really.
And that's it?
So it's the passion. I think in the simplest way to answer that question, the passion is what gets me out of bed to do the project. I can't wait to do it. I am so excited to do it. And certainly there's been things in my life when I'm not that excited about that anymore. I should probably move on.
And is it easy to let it go then? That you've let those things go?
If I don't love it and I'm not passionate about it, it's easy to let it go.
So true. Granger, are you coming to LA anytime soon? I really want to have lunch with you.
Bro, I was in LA yesterday. We should have.
What?
I don't know how this happened.
Where's Ben? Why didn't he tell us, for crying out loud? Are you coming back anytime soon? I was supposed to be going to Dallas at the end of this month, but I don't think that I'm doing it. What were you doing in LA yesterday?
I was speaking at a marriage conference with my wife. We were in Costa Mesa. We're in Costa Mesa. So
that would have been on bike.
I do need to come back. Yeah.
Of course, he's now speaking at a marriage conference. I mean, does the guy not do anything? He does everything. My gosh, did you bring Earl to the conference?
He didn't come. Earl's single.
That's why everybody loves him so much. All right, buddy. Thank you very much, Granger, and please let's do this again. And we gotta have. I want to have lunch with you though. I want to sit down with you.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, Granger. Thanks again.
All right.
You just saw and you've heard what Granger Smith does, and that's like on a daily basis. Whatever that passion is that's inside of your heart, it was put there for a reason. Go after it. Don't stop because of, I don't know how, or I'm not feeling comfortable about it. Just make those first steps, and in the process of making those first steps, you will succeed. But also, you will enjoy the process because you're passionate about it. So with that, we leave you today, and we thank you guys. Dylan, do you have anything to add before we say goodbye?
Just
that's fine. Actually, we got to wrap it up. Please go to YouTube and comment about how bad and mad you were that Dylan didn't get to drop his wisdom. Bye, guys. God bless you.